Okay, I'm going to paint this palette. I've had this palette forever and tried painting it several times and just, I don't know, I haven't been able to think of anything or whatever, so I decided I'm going to do this for a project. So it was already painted yellow, but it was a very shiny yellow. So I just gessoed over it and proceeded to put a shiny orange on top. I don't know. I kind of got the idea that I was going to do sort of a Van Goghish kind of style. And I was thinking there would be like a dark blue sky, like Starry Night. So I figured if I used orange, it would be a good balance. And it was, I guess. But I ended up covering up most of this. So, but at least it had a balanced beginning. So of course I decided to put a cat in here, but I wasn't sure how I was going to do it, if I was just going to draw it and then, yeah, like this. See how I used Posca pens. They're acrylic pens, and kind of did the Starry Night sort of style thing, and I added colors with other Poscas, trying to make it. Maybe that's why I had the orange, because I knew I was going to have it in the background. I ended up just getting rid of this whole thing in the end, but you can watch it. Sometimes stuff doesn't work out the first time, so you just have to keep trying. I tried different colors, and in the end, I sort of figured out that the thing about Van Gogh is it had texture, and the Poscas were flat, so although the colors weren't coming out really great. I don't have a huge amount of colors, and you can't really mix a Posca. So then I started painting. I used acrylic, I used Blick Studio, and I used Liquitex Heavy Body. And tended to have a little trouble with this palette knife. I've never painted with a palette knife before. I have several, but I don't generally use them. So it was a learning curve, I suppose. But I ended up kind of liking, actually, the way it came out. So I finished the background, and I finished the star, moon, whatever they are. And then I started to work on the cat, which is upcoming. So when I started to work on the cat, I did bring a brush in, it's a brush, just to mark in where it was going to be darker, mark in shapes. And I used this very light yellow, which is the yellow in the very center of the stars, thinking it would, I don't know, it just seemed like it would work, and it completely didn't work. So I went over it and 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 over it, as you'll see. I don't know, I was having some issues. I don't know. I just couldn't get the cat to fit in with the rest of the painting. Like, the style-wise, the color-wise. So I was using a paintbrush, I was using a palette knife, and I'm sorry, the camera is very close to this, so you can't really see the bottom. When I was recording this, I had just done my tiny canvases, so the camera was still down, so I had to move it up, and you'll see that in the next section. And the colors look super neon here. I don't know. I must have had the lighting on too high or something, because I did change the lighting, at least in the last section. Oh, wait, I gotta stop. Okay, never mind. I had recorded while I was filming, but I'll tell you what I said. I was just telling you what I just said. That I was working on the tiny canvases, and I moved the camera up, so now you can see the whole thing. but it still looks incredibly neon orange. It really was not that orangey. Oh, I was saying how the lightest color yellow, which was the Blick Studio, was cracking a lot. Like cracking will happen when with acrylic paint. If you paint acrylic on acrylic while the bottom acrylic is still wet, it'll crack a lot of times. It didn't bother me. I like the texture, and it was already very textured anyway, so I just continued to add on top of it to try to even it out. And then I varnished at the end, or glossed, put, what is that stuff, that gloss medium on top, just to make the whole thing even, because the two Blick paints didn't seem to be glossy, so, but the other ones were. Okay, so this is, I did adjust the light a little bit here, and I started using the paintbrush a lot now. I think I gave up on the knife. I was just trying to get the cat to fit into the rest of the painting, and I tried adding darks, I tried adding lights, I tried covering up parts of it that were light and dark, and it ended up coming out okay, but I had given up on it for a while. Let's see, what am I doing here? Yeah, I tried adding highlights, and then I ended up covering them all up, and then I ended up covering the entire cat with a different color, but anyway. Sometimes just sometimes you should just walk away from something, but other times you just keep adding layers to it and eventually it'll work out. This was one of those, because I didn't want to walk away from it. I was so frustrated that I couldn't for the longest time paint on a palette, because I've seen people do it and I just wanted to, and I really loved the colors, and I loved the way that the stars came out in the background, and there was a big spot in the middle, and I wanted, of course, to put a cat because I'm a cat lady. And so finally, it seems to start looking better here. I added the sort of the dark yellowish, light orangish color to the entire thing. I was working off a photo, but it was a photo of a rug and not a photo of an actual cat. So I was kind of following their pattern on the rug for a while, and I thought, this is silly because that's not what a cat looks like. So then I ended up changing it, and I do like the way it came out. So that's it. This is the gloss medium, just to sort of put it evenly over the entire thing. And then I noticed I wanted to touch up some things. So I painted pretty much while it was still wet, but it didn't seem to make too much of a difference. I just wanted some dark right there behind the ear, because it just didn't seem right. And then where the dark is, yes, right there. So there would be some shadow. Anyway, that's how it came out. I hope you liked it. I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next time.